Good evening. The City of Boston Zoning Board of Appeal hearing for December 8th, 2022 is now in session. This hearing is being conducted in accordance with the applicable provisions of the open meeting law, including the updated provisions enacted by the legislature last year. The new law allows the board to continue its practice of holding virtual hearings until March 2023. This hearing of the board is being held remotely via the Zoom webinar event platform. This hearing is also being recorded. In order to ensure this hearing of the board is open to the public, members of the public may access this hearing through telephone and video conferencing. This information for connecting to this hearing is listed on today's hearing agenda, which is posted on the public notices page of the city's website, boston.gov. Members of the public will enter the virtual hearing as attendees, which means you will not see yourself on the screen and you will be muted throughout unless administratively unmuted when asked to comment. Board members, applicants, and their attorneys or representatives will participate in the hearing as panelists, and they will appear alongside the presentation materials when speaking. Panelists are strongly encouraged to keep video on while presenting to the board. As with our in-person meetings, comments in support will be followed by comments in opposition. The order of comments is as follows: elected officials, representatives of elected officials, and members of the public. The chair may limit the number of people called upon to offer a comment and the time for commenting as time constraints require. For that reason, the board prefers to hear from members of the public who are most impacted by a project. That is, those individuals who live closest to the project. If you wish to comment on an appeal, please click the raise hand button along the bottom of your screen in the Zoom webinar platform. Click it again and your hand should go down. When the host sees your hand, you will receive a request to unmute yourself. Select yes, and you should be able to talk. If you are connected to the hearing by phone, please press *9 to raise and lower your hand. You must press *6 to unmute yourself after you receive the request from the host. Those called upon to comment will be asked to state their name and address first, and then provide their comment. In the interest of time, and to ensure that you have enough time to do so, please raise your hand as soon as Mr. Fortune reads the address into the record. Do not raise your hand before the relevant address is called, or the meeting host will not know to call on you at the appropriate time. These instructions will be repeated throughout the hearing. Take roll call. Mr. Fortune?
I'm here, Madam Chair.
Mr. Robinson?
I'm here. Good evening.
All right. Fantastic. Mr. Fortune will now begin with the call of the list.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The first order of business, are there any deferrals or withdrawals for any of the cases tonight? If you can give me the address first, if you were deferring or withdrawing.
37 Jenkins Street.
Yes. Hold on 2 seconds. Sorry about that. What's the address? I'm sorry. Say it again.
37 Jenkins Street.
Actually, no. Okay, sorry. Okay. BOA 1330550 37 Jenkins Street. Name and address for the record, please.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Attorney Ryan Spitz with Adams and Moranci with the business address of 168 8th Street. We're here to request a deferral based upon it has to be re-advertised. The original proposal was advertised, and we've made some substantial changes to the plans during the community process. And unfortunately, those were not advertised. So to allow the board to fully advertise the complete proposal in front of us today, we're asking for a deferral.
A motion for deferral.
I'll second that.
Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
I too say yes, motion carries.
We'll have a date of January 19th on the subcommittee at 5 p.m.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. Are there any more deferrals or withdrawals for the 5 o'clock cases? Hearing none, I'll call the first case, calling VOA 1310627 26 Sullivan Street. This is to replace the existing roof deck, a new stair to have access to hatch. The violation Article 62, Section 25, roof structure restrictions, and Article 62, Section 8, side yard is insufficient. Name and address for the record, please.
Hello, this is Kathy Corcoran and Jerry Sheehan at 26 Sullivan Street in Charlestown. And Eric Zackerson is also joining us. He is the architect for the project.
You, Eric? Sorry, the architect.
Yes, Eric Zackerson, at 9 Sackville Street in Charlestown. I'm the architect.
Can one of you say more about the project? What are you looking for? What are the
Yes,
violations?
the goal is to replace a roof deck on the property that we believe it was probably built without a building permit. There used to be a stair leading to a roof hatch, or a ladder leading to a roof hatch. We're removing that and adding a legitimate stair over the existing staircase, and you would be accessed via a new roof hatch. You see it here on the plan.
Mr. Robinson, have you reviewed the plans?
Yes, plans look good. So just to confirm, you're setting this, the deck's getting enlarged, obviously a little bit, but you're setting 5 feet back from the street. Is that correct? Just want to make sure.
That's correct. Yes.
And the stair just moves to the front where it looks like it was in the back, but
Yes.
still access through a hatch. So yeah, no issues. No issues. Looks pretty straightforward for me.
Great. Any testimony in support or opposition?
Yes, Mr. Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of the board. Some background information on the community process. The applicant circulate flyers to abutters within 300 feet, and our office also provided plans to a couple of abutters upon request. We received from the applicant a list of signatures from direct abutters who were in support of the proposal. And we also forwarded to this board a letter of support that came in later from a abutter as well on the street. At this time, we defer to the judgment of the board. Thank you.
Madam Chair, we have those letters and that the mayor's office just spoke of.
Is there anyone else to speak in support or opposition?
I have no raised hands at the moment, Madam Chair.
Okay, may I have a motion?
I will make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Fortune,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
I agree, motion carries.
Calling the next case,
Hooray.
calling BOA 134-7692, 435 Bunker Hill Street. This is a proposal for a head house as well as one change in window location on ground floor. The violations, Article 62, Section 25, roof structure restrictions, proposing head house. Name and address for the record, please.
Joshua's on. I just unmuted you for a second. I'm sorry, Joshua. Can you unmute yourself?
Yep, no problem. Hi, Joshua Eldridge, homeowner and applicant at 435 Bunker Hill Street in Charlestown. For the record, the change in window location was separately already approved on another amendment. That was not an issue. The issue here was a height restriction for the proposed head house, which this is part of an amendment to an already permitted addition to the third floor. That addition will displace an existing spiral staircase that goes to the existing roof deck, and we are hoping to replace the existing that displaced spiral staircase with an internal staircase and a head house opening up onto the roof. Our preference would be to have the full head house rather than the roof hatch as a better, safer access point. It does require us to go about 6 feet over the maximum building height for the lot. However, the head house is set back about 22 feet, I think, off the top of my head, from the front edge of the house, and is only about 9 feet tall. So it will not be visible from the street. The neighboring building to the uphill to the south has it is a significantly taller building. The neighboring building to the north, two neighboring buildings to the north, both already have head houses that we are very closely matching in height. I think that covers everything.
Thank you. You answered one of my questions. Mr. Robinson? How are you?
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe the council knows, and obviously the board members know, it's not necessarily the policy of the board to approve head houses, especially when it exceeds the height. And the reason really for that is because it a potential for obstruction of views of other people, which we don't believe is necessary. However, in this case, the fact that you are up against a taller building to the side, I think probably, and it sets back at the back corner. I feel like it's probably a little bit more appropriate for this location than in most. So, I think I'm more comfortable in this situation with a head house than we typically are. So that's
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other feedback? May I take testimony?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of the board. Background information on the community process. We had the applicant circulate flyers to abutters within 300 feet. At this time, our office is not aware of any concerns. With that, we defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Newman. Any others for testimony?
Madam Chair, I have no raised hands.
Okay. May I have a motion?
Just a comment. I'd have to agree with Mr. Robinson on this one, even though we don't particularly like to see the head house. I think he brings a valid point. And again, there's no opposition. We didn't get any opposition letters. I think that tells a telltale sign.
I agree, Mr. Secretary. I think that's right. So I will make a motion to approve. I hate to labor this small project, but I think maybe it would be good to put a design proviso on this with the BPDA to look at potentially just minimizing the amount of height needed for the head house, and just to sort of keep it as low and clean as possible.
I would agree with you there. I'd second that motion.
Thank you.
And Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
I too agree. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Calling the next case, calling VOA 136-7350, 78 Washington Street. This is demolish, rebuild, and expand the existing attached garage to fit the family-size electric vehicle and add a roof deck on the top of the one-story garage. Also add a new wall at the rear property line with an access gate. The violation is Article 62, Section 62-8, the rear yard is insufficient, and Article 62, Section 8, the side yard is insufficient. Name and address for the record, please.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Adam Barnowski, 255 State Street in Boston. I'm an attorney for the applicant on behalf of Charlotte and Brian Hamill, the applicants and owners of record. With me is Patrick Myers, the architect of record. The subject property is 78 Washington Street. It's located in the Charlestown Neighborhood Zoning District in the 3F 2000 subdistrict. The Hamills occupy the property as their primary residence along with their 3 children. They have a 4th child on the way, literally any day or moment now. This is a single-family attached row house-style residence located on the southwesterly side of Washington Street. The rear of the property has access to Lynn Street and is improved with a small garage on the southwest corner of the lot. The applicants seek to demolish, rebuild, and expand the existing attached garage to fit a family-size electric vehicle and add a roof deck on top of the one-story garage, as well as add a new wall along the rear property line with an access gate to replace the existing fencing. In particular, the applicant seeks relief from Section 62-8 relative to the rear yard, where they will have 0.7 feet where a minimum depth of 20 is required, and the side yard where they'll have 0.2 feet where a minimum of 2.5 feet is required. So all of the relief here relates to the rear and side yards. And it's worth noting that both citations relate to pre-existing nonconformities. The proposed garage replaces a pre-existing non-conforming garage, which was built on the lot line, leaving no rear yard and little to no side yard to the west of the garage. The proposed garage would not increase that nonconformity, and it would greatly improve the aesthetics of the property by replacing an existing wooden structure with an updated and improved garage. current garage is run down. They're really looking to utilize this as a usable space with modern usage, with an electric vehicle that will adequately allow for this family of six, or soon to be family of six. It's also an appropriate use given the scarcity of on-street parking and lack of on-street electric vehicle charging stations in the immediate vicinity of the project. It's in harmony with the neighborhood and with the street. There are several properties on this strip of Washington Street that abut Lind that have either structures or garages into the rear and side lot lines. Again, this is no increase to the nonconformity. And with the character of the neighborhood, we have been in touch with ONS on this project. We've been in touch with Councilor Coletta's office relative to the proposal, and we've included a memo with additional reasons to support the project, which the board should have in its record. We also have, as I mentioned, the architect of record, John Meyer, here in the event that the board would like any further information on the plans before you. And we're happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Thank you. May I ask, regarding the roof deck, are there other abutters who have a similar roof deck above their garages? Or roof deck
I don't believe there are roof decks in the immediate vicinity, although I couldn't tell you in regards to, you know, the full neighborhood or a block or two over.
And the roof deck extends similar, so that has a similar non-conforming, you know, rear yard insufficient, et cetera, the similar articles in violation?
Well, the roof deck was actually not cited as a violation. So we're only here regarding the side yard. And if you look at the plans, you can see that funny enough, the sight lines that are created in a reduction of the roof actually improve visibility, because you're taking down a part of the roof line, which is now then, you know, flat due to the roof deck. But again, the roof deck is not subject to the appeal.
Mr. Robinson, how are the plans?
Plans are good. You know, it's certainly an upgrade to what's there, and it seems to be following roughly the size of what's there now. When I don't disagree with the attorney on the sort of it's not the full length with a pitched roof, so it actually might feel a little bit less large. You know, I think it's in a fairly prominent spot, so I would say if we proceed with this, we should have it go through the BPDA design review just for consistency. And there is it looks like the property to the right from the rear at 76, maybe. I'm not sure exactly what their addresses are, but looks like it has a very similar condition in terms of with a flat deck roof with a garage next door. So I think it's a fair sort of revision, an update to what's there now, and certainly I think it'll look better. And with the service of the exterior deck, I think seems to work pretty well with the layout of the house. So no real questions from me on that.
Okay. Is there anyone to speak in favor or in opposition to this project?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of the board. Some background information on the community process. We had we had the proponent circulate flyers to abutters within 300 feet of the property. And upon request, Neighborhood Services forwarded the plans to a number of those abutters. We did get one letter of opposition regarding concerns about loss of sight with the garage being slightly enlarged and some concerns about privacy with the roof deck. But beyond that, we did not hear from any other residents. With that, we defer to the board. Thank you.
Madam Chair, Secretary here, we do have a couple of letters of opposition, and it is what the mayor's office just spoke of.
Thank
And
you.
Madam Chair, I have no raised hands. Thank you.
Okay, is there any other discussion Mr. Fortune or Mr. Robinson want to share?
Are those direct abutters, Mark, Secretary?
I'd have to take a look. Hold on
Or
2
Connor,
seconds.
do you know, Mr. Newman?
Just wondering.
The one that we forwarded to was a direct butter, I believe, judging from the address.
Okay, so
Yeah, one is a direct abutter. And both of them are direct abutters, one at 76 and one at 8.
So the one that has a similar condition is against it. That's interesting. Okay, and the other's at 80. Okay.
So it's either side of them. it sounds
Yeah, I see it.
like. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think it's an improvement of over what's there, and I think that I guess I'll make a motion to approve with BPA design review, and I guess I would just ask that the abutter hopefully, or the neighbor or proponent can work with their neighbors just to make sure any of their concerns are addressed as best as possible during the process. So.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Fortune,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
I too vote yes, motion carries.
Thank you.
Calling the next case, calling VOA 138-5031, 101 to 109 State Street. This is to remove the proviso from the previous owner, continue to have takeout. That need to grant a new proviso to the new owner. The violations, Article 6, Section 4, other protectional conditions. Name and address for the record, please.
Hi, Emily, I see your hand is raised. Sent the request to unmute you. Are you here for this presentation?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Emily Udamsuk, and I'm the owner of on 107 State Street. And it's a bubble tea shop, and I would wish to have takeout granted to the cafe as it has been, granted to restaurants that have been in that location before. It's crucial to my business as a bubble tea shop to have the drinks be able to be taken out and to ensure that the customer experience is what they expect.
What are your hours of operation?
From 11 to 6.
I don't think you're making any changes to the interior, so I'm not sure if Mr. Robinson has any questions on plans.
Not really. I guess probably only if there's any. I assume you're going to do some exterior signage upgrades or changes, which will have to go through a different permitting process with the city. Yeah, I don't see no issues with me on this one. No, straightforward.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone to speak in support or opposition of this project?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of the board. Some background information on the community process. We had the applicant circulate flyers to abutters within 300 feet. We did not hear any concerns. They also went on to meet with the Wharf District Council and received a letter of support from them. With that, we defer to the judgment of the board. Thank you.
Hi, Madam Chair, members of the board. Ana Calderon from Council President Flink's office. The councilor would like to go on record in support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I have no raised hands. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I missed. Okay,
Yep, I have.
thank you.
Oh, no.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve with the typical takeout language and also for this applicant only.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Mr. Fortune,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
I too vote yes, motion carries.
Calling the next case, calling VOA 134-7341, 23 Chestnut Street. Is to construct a dormer in the rear of the house for a new bedroom. The violation of Article 13, Section 1, the floor area ratio was excessive. Name and address for the record, please.
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, my name is Timothy Burke. I'm the architect for the project, and I have a business address of 142 Berkeley Street in Boston. With me tonight are the owners, Laura Babbitt and Michael Lampert. The owners are looking to construct a bedroom for one of their daughters to increase right now she's in a very small space. The existing attic is partially finished. We're looking to increase it slightly by adding a dormer on the back and also putting in a stairway that's much safer than the existing stairway. Either building on each side, we're in an H265 district, and we're looking to expand the FAR from the existing 2.8 to 2.9. The buildings on either side of us are a good story higher and also well over 3 with their FAR. The bedroom you see here in the attic proposed plan with a bathroom, there's existing plumbing up there that we will be utilizing. And this additional space is highly valuable to the owners. And so their daughter, you can see she's in that small room on the 4th floor now, where the stairway would go. So she would have a much nicer room. And we did have a thorough community process with this project and reached out to all the neighbors. I've submitted letters of support from both the butters, and one's behind us as well.
Thank you. Mr. Robinson, any questions on the plans?
Nope, very straightforward. I agree with Mr. Burke. I think it fits in fine, and there's tall buildings both sides. Really see no issue with this at all. So no questions from me.
All right, thank you. May I take testimony?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of the board. Some background information on the community process. We held a meeting. No questions or concerns were raised from abutters. They went on to meet with the Beacon Hill Civic Association. There were some initial concerns regarding the increase of FAR, but ultimately the BHCA voted to go in non-opposition to this proposal. With that, we defer to the judgment of the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Newman.
Madam Chair, we do have a couple of letters of support. We also have the letter the Mayor's Office spoke of.
Madam Chair, I have no raised hands. Thank you.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
Mark, you want to make a motion?
I'll let you do all the honors.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
All right, Mr. Fortune,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson.
Yes.
All right, I too say yes, motion carries.
Great. Thank you very much.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 132-3055, 887 Dorchester Avenue. This is a replacement of storefront windows and door, a change from a commercial garage to eyelash makeup studio. Front store will be a replacement of an existing garage at the front. The violation is Article 65, Section 8, beauty shop eyelash makeup studio is conditional. Name and address for the record, please.
Is the applicant here?
Hi, Lee, can you raise your hand if you're on or? No, they didn't check it.
We can come back.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Following the next case, calling BOA 139-0449, 7 Zamora Court. This is build an additional living space in the attic, expand their existing upper unit. Additional dwelling unit to be added in the basement. The violation is Article 10, Section 1. Limitation of parking area, Article 55, Section 9. A number of allowed habitable stories has been exceeded. Article 55, Section 9, excessive FAR. Article 55, Section 9, insufficient side yard setback. And Article 55, Section 65-41, off-street parking is insufficient, the design and tandem. Name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, Madam Chair, board members. My name is Gerald Otler, address 7 Zamora Court. Just a point of clarification, we had originally filed an application to both expand living space into the attic and add another unit in the basement. Because of the code and zoning challenges of the basement unit, that was removed from the permit application. So that is not currently under consideration. What we have before you is, I'll describe briefly and share my screen. My wife and I own a 2-family, 7 Zamora Court in Jamaica Plain. My mother lives in the unit downstairs. We live upstairs with our 2 children. Would you like me to present, or is it easier if you do it? You can go to page 7 to show the existing condition of unit 2 where we live. So we have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath unit. We've lived in this home for 7 years at this point, made some significant interior and exterior improvements. And at this point in time, with our 2 kids getting older, and also with me working at home full-time, which was not something that most of us would have envisioned just a few years ago. We're finding that we would like some additional space, so we're proposing expansion up into the attic. Actually, scroll through if you don't mind. You can just see the existing attic condition on the next and the existing roof. By the way, my architect Brian Militana is here as well to answer any questions. And then if you keep scrolling, you will see the existing, the south elevation, essentially the front, followed by the west elevation, north and east. And then on the following slide, you can see what we're proposing. We would lose a, if you go to the floor plan, please, we would lose one more, I believe. Yeah, we would lose that middle bedroom where you see the new staircase. We need a new code compliant staircase. Other than that, the floor plan in our existing unit would remain unchanged. If you go to the next slide, you'll see the proposed floor plan in the currently unfinished attic space, a study area in front, a larger bedroom, smaller bedroom, and a full bath. So it's a net gain of one additional bedroom and one bathroom. We have been through multiple community meetings with the Jamaica Pond Association, the Jamaica Plain Neighborhood Council. I have submitted to you, I believe it's a dozen letters of support from neighbors and abutters. We would need a dormer. Sorry, if you scroll just to the next slides, you'll see the dormer here in plan view, and then the next slide shows the south elevation with that dormer added. And then if you go to the following slide, you'll see the west elevation, and you can see that we've kept it, we think, modest in scale compared to the length of the roof in order to minimize the visual impact. We're happy to continue to work with BPDA on design if there are additional design moves we can change. With that, happy to take any questions. Or Brian, did you have anything to add to my presentation?
Yeah, I would just like to clarify that we're proposing 2 shed dormers. And I believe there's one side setback violation related to the dormers. And I can answer further questions.
Mr. Robinson, how are the plans?
Plans seem pretty straightforward. I think it's fairly consistent with the neighborhood. There's plenty of dormer conditions, and I think the fact that the dormer is set below the height of the existing ridge line, I think this is a fairly straightforward and I think typical way to kind of expand into these attics when you need code related clearances. So honestly, I really don't have any questions. It's pretty straightforward. We see this a lot. So I think, and it's an owner occupied building, so I think it makes a lot of sense. So no questions from me.
Thank you. May I take testimony? Is there anyone to speak in support or opposition?
Hi, yes. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. Tiffany Caballero here from the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This applicant has undergone an extensive community process. Our office facilitated an abutters meeting back on Monday, July 25th of this year, 2022. They managed to receive letters of support from both the JPA, the Jamaica Pond Association, as well as the Jamaica Plain Neighborhood Council. At this time, the mayor's office would like to go on record and defer to the judgment. Thank you.
Madam Chair, Secretary here, we do have the letters the mayor's office spoke of, and we also have an opposition letter as well.
Okay, thank you. Is there additional testimony?
Yes. I raised my hand, John Donnelly.
Yes.
I'm representing.
Can you put your name and address for the record?
My name is John Donnelly, and it's the law office of John Donnelly at 655 Center Street in Jamaica Plain, 02130. I represent Marianne Doherty. She's the owner and resident at 11 Zamora, which is on the west side. It's a budding property in the west side. The two properties share a common driveway and have reciprocal easements over that driveway. What we're up, the first point of contention is that it's just too big for this already dense neighborhood. You're increasing the nonconformity of the floor area ratio by 34%. So it's going from 18% above, which is to 52% above. And even if you keep the baseline of what nonconformity is today at 0.71 and a 0.6 allowable FAR, you're increasing it by 28%. So it's significant. It's above what's allowed in section 9-1. And the owners intend on asking for even more. That is the third unit. I know that's not at issue at this time, but again, it's part of the plan. Specific to 11 Zamora, there's issues of light and there's issues of privacy. And now you're changing a 2.5 story building into a 3-story building, which now has views down into the 2 units next door. You also are going to be blocking some light from one of the only 2 sides of the property that actually get direct sunlight, the south facing front side and the side facing 7 Zamora. On the other side, there are 2 triple deckers that are pretty close. I did in the file I put in a number of pictures. I don't know if I can share them.
No, thank you.
No additional raised hands.
Okay, and I just want to confirm per Mr. Donnelly's point that the vote today is solely on the dormers. We're not approving or not approving any basement units, correct?
Correct. That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay, may I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve. I think that I understand the concerns of the abutters, but I feel like in a home owner occupied residence for a family, and not all FAR increases are created equal. And I think that this is a common addition to a lot of residents to utilize an additional space for living. And I think it's an appropriate proposal. So I'll make a recommendation to approve with BPA design review.
I would agree with you, Mr. Robinson. I'm actually looking on Google Maps and it doesn't seem to me that it would be too much of an adjustment, but I agree. I'd second that motion.
Mr. Fortune,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
I too vote yes, motion carries.
Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 134-4282, 65 Mount Hope Street. This is extension of living space. The violation is Article 67, Section 9, front yard is insufficient, and Article 67, Section 9, the rear yard is insufficient. Name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Eileen Rosa from Rosa Design and Construction, and we're located at 286 Blue Hill Ave in Milton. And I am the residential designer representing the owner, Nick Ines Beth. 65 Mount Hope Street is her primary residence, and she's been living here for the past 16 years. And the intention here is to propose an extension of living space of this existing single-family home by building an addition on the left and the rear side of the existing house of approximately 1,000 square feet at the garden level, and also an additional 1,000 square feet on the first floor. The violation side is where front yard insufficient and rear yard insufficient. The front yard, the regulation calls for 20, the existing is 15 feet, and what we're proposing is to maintain the same 15 feet. The addition is on the left side, based on, as you can see in the key plan. And then on the rear, the regulation calls for 40. The existing is 30 feet, and we are proposing 15 feet to extend towards the back. I'm open to any questions now if you may have.
Just so I make sure I heard you correctly. So there are two additions, one each are 1,000 square feet on the side and the.
Of the other, that's basically the habitable square footage being added, 1,000 square feet in the perimeter per floor.
Okay, so 2,000 total.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Robinson, how are the plans?
Plans are good. One question I just had on the rear of Butter. So it's a corner lot, is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. And so the rear of Butter, they face obviously the side yard or the side street or the edge street. Okay. I think I don't have any questions regarding the proposal. I think I understand. I mean, this is a single family and it's staying a single family. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you said it's owner occupied, correct?
Correct.
Okay, great. I don't have any other additional questions. I think probably be good to have the BPDA design review on this if we approve, just since I think it's a fairly large change to the house and to the neighborhood, but I think it seems to be somewhat appropriate for the corner condition on the lot. So no other questions for me.
Thank you. It also looks like they have camouflage in the rear, so
Yes.
they have landscaping.
Agreed.
Is there anyone here to speak in support or opposition? Jessica, is there anyone to speak in support or opposition?
Madam Chair, I have no raised hands.
Madam
raised
Chair,
hands.
Secretary here. We do have a couple of letters of support. I do have a quick question though. I'm looking on Google Maps for the applicant. So there's a fence, a chain link fence, and then there's a stockade fence. Is that your property line at the chain link or is it the property at the stockade?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question again? I don't have them.
On Brad Street, which is the side street that Mr. Robinson said, there is a chain link fence, and then there is a stockade fence, and I'm looking at it, maybe there's 6 foot between the chain link and the stockade fence. Is that property?
I will have to answer your question, I will have to take a look. My apologies. I'm looking briefly here in Google Earth.
Yeah, because it goes right down to the property that Mr. Robinson had mentioned.
Yep.
On the backside. You see that, Mr. Robinson?
I do. Yep.
It's just a kind of a strange setup.
Give me a
Yep.
second.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, it does look like, I see.
Let me try to.
Well, it looks like someone installed the stockade on the inside, so it looks nicer. And the chain link on is this actual fence, but
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it could be a dog runner. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that, maybe. Yeah,
It seems to be the chain link, the fence, her property line. And based on the plot plan, the proposed setback will be 10 feet 5 on that side.
On that side, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep, I see. I got it. I see what you're saying. Yep. Okay.
All right, may I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve with BPDA design review.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Fortune,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
I too vote yes, motion carries. Thank you. Good luck.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 138-3742, 28 Taunton Avenue. This is to extend the house in the back. The violations, Article 69, Section 9, the lot area is insufficient. Article 69, Section 9, the floor area ratio is excessive. Article 69, Section 9, the side yard is insufficient. And Article 69, Section 9, the rear yard is insufficient. Name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Vladimir. I'm the contractor representing the homeowner. The addition is going to be basic to extend the house in the back. The first floor will be around 336 square feet. It's just gonna be for a master bedroom, workplace, and a master bedroom, and an extended existing bathroom.
Do you have any questions about the plans, Mr. Robinson?
My only question is, so there's an existing deck back there, that's correct?
Yes.
And then the addition, is that an elevated deck? I can't quite see it on, are you
Yes.
replacing the deck? And so,
No, we're gonna demolish that deck.
okay, so are you putting another deck there that's gonna go closer to the property line?
No,
or
the other deck will be on the second floor.
Yep. Oh, on
And,
the roof. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got you.
We're not gonna be above the ridge line. We just extend the roof.
Yep. Okay. Honestly, no questions. I think it's pretty straightforward as well, so.
Is there anyone to speak in support or opposition?
Good evening. Madam
Oh.
Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. So at this time, our mayor's office would like to defer judgment to the board. Some background information on the community process. We had the applicant notify abutters, and they also attended the Roseberry Ruskindale Road Neighborhood Association October 11th. We had the abutters meeting on October 14th, where several abutters were in support of the project. One abutter who did not want to make sure that the company doing the construction was mindful of neighbors. No letters of opposition were received. At this, we'd like to defer judgment to the board. Thank you.
Thank
you. Madam Chair, I have no raised hands.
All right, thank you. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve with BPDA design review for the final design. And I think it's great if the proponent or the contractor can make sure they're working with the butters to minimize any disturbance during constructions.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Fortune,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson.
Yes.
I too vote yes, motion carries.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 139-4506-20 Hazelmere Road. This is an addition to make way for new kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, and sunroom. The violations, Article 67, Section 9, the side yard's insufficient, and Article 67, Section 9, the rear yard is insufficient. Name and address for the record, please.
Good evening. My name is Polly Waldorf with Waldorf Design Studio. I'm at 71 Mayfair Drive in Westwood. I represent George and Nye Lee, who are also here. They're the homeowners. They have been living in this home for 30 years now, and they would like to age in place here. Nye is having issues getting up the stairs, so we really want to make the first floor just a living area for her and her husband as they live out the rest of their days in the house. So the side yard, we'll end up 8.5 feet. With the side yard, zoning is for 10 feet. The rear yard will have 23.2 feet, whereas the zoning is 40 feet. Behind this house, there is actually a huge retaining wall way back there and a condo development back there. So you really it certainly won't obstruct anyone's view in the back. And most of the addition is really in the rear of the house. So again, you won't really see much from the front of the house either.
Thank you. Any questions?
No, this seems very straightforward, and as long as nobody's upset about it, I think it looks really straightforward and a nice addition. No issues from me on this. So.
Thank you. Is there anyone to speak in support or opposition?
Hello, Ms. Chair, members of the board. My name is Uju Nochi with the Mayor's Office. I hosted a meeting for 65 Mount Hope Street on...
we're discussing 20 Hazelmere Road at this time.
Oh, so sorry. Okay, yeah. So I hosted a meeting for them on October 18th. We had 3 neighbors in attendance, and they all generally seem to be in support. I've received 2 letters of support so far. And at this moment, we would like to defer judgment to the board.
Madam Chair, Secretary, we do have those letters the mayor's office spoke of.
Thank you. Is there anyone else to speak in support or opposition?
I have no raised hands at the moment, Madam Chair.
Thank you. May I entertain a motion?
Sure. I'll make a motion for approval.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Mr. Fortune,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
I too vote yes. Motion carries. Good luck.
Thank you.
Calling the next case for rediscussion, calling case BOA 1265152 10 Carson Street. This is a paver stone driveway which can park 2 vehicles. The paved driveway is in the front of the house. You can let the outside car move easier. Inside car needs to come out. This paved driveway is not for parking purposes. The violation is Article 65, Section 41, off-street parking and loading. Article 65, Section 9, the front yard is insufficient, and Article 65, Section 9, the side yard is insufficient. Name and address for the record, please.
Hi, can you hear me? Hello?
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 Name and address for the
Can you
record,
hear me?
please.
Yeah, sure. So, my name is Kahe, and this is a single family house, and it's owner occupied, and we want to do the driveway in the front, or I would say side yard, and then so based on the neighborhood meeting last time, and we did some changes on it, and this plot plan is the new one. And to solve the side yard insufficient problem, we decreased the parking spot we want from 3 to 2, so that there will be more spaces left, and the parking spot will end at the stairs that you can see on the plot plan. And then secondly, we decided to keep the triangle shaped lawn on the left hand side of the front yard, so that the green area insufficient problem can be solved too. And third, we also decided to change the paved material from asphalt to paver stone. So since there are some neighbors pointed out that the water flows direction can cause a problem, and that's why we decided to change the material to paver stone.
Mr. Robinson, how are the plans?
Yeah. I mean, I probably am asking a question. Why are we at a rediscussion for this? Does anybody know?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, Madam Chair, I just said, this came up before, and actually Bob D'Amico has spoke on this, so I just want to make sure his comments
Yeah.
Yes,
are on
please.
the record. In regards to 10 Carson Street, has a vehicle in the front yard and located at the corner. Therefore, he would like to request that this proposal be reduced to 1 vehicle.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it on Google Maps. It's actually a corner, but it's not a corner lot. The street goes in a corner.
I can't tell which, I'm looking at Google Maps too. I can't tell which one is the property.
So
I think it's the
plan,
right, it's like a double house and it's
Is it
the
the
right
one
hand.
with the tree in front of it and the 2
No,
cars?
I think it's the
No.
right side
Right.
with the red.
the white color.
Lattice work.
That.
Oh, okay, the white lot, okay.
So I
the
guess
fence doesn't exist anymore because we removed the fence already.
the chain link fence.
Yeah, the chain link fence.
So I guess I have one question. So it's in this plan, it's dimensioned as the driveway as 12 feet wide. And it doesn't, in this drawing, it says, it seems like it can't fit by that stair where the,
Oh, for
Can
the
you-
stairs place, we did cut the stairs during the renovated in June 21st. So the photo on the Google map was the old one.
is the old one. So if you reduce the width of the driveway, because a parking spot is only 9 foot, maybe 9'6", 9 foot by 20 feet required for parking. It seems like if you skinny down the driveway to 10 feet or a little bit less, you could actually get the car around that railing and then park. So you're not even encroaching on the front yard at all. Is that something that you considered?
So do you mean that the part can go
Like next to your landing, so it would kind of go next to the first stair landing up for past the stair. So like in this condition, if a car's parked, you can't get to the stairs because you won't be able to get by it on the corner of the house. If you move the car back into the backyard further, then you could actually get into the stairs.
Yeah, but will the green area be a problem?
Yes.
'Cause-
Well, it will
So
be, but I think it'll be more
I prefer-
usable.
I know, but I prefer to do it in the front, like, front side yard, just because it is hard to park in Boston area.
Yeah. What do you guys think? I think it's kind of,
I
unfortunately,
think-
we try not to do this for this reason.
Right.
Madam Chair, I think this one should be deferred to the full board.
I will entertain a motion on that.
I don't have a problem with that because I think I think there's a solution here, but I'm just not sure it's this one. I fear the full board will just deny it because this is not what we're approving, but I'm happy to defer it to the full board. So
I mean, that's just my recommendation. I'm looking at Google Earth right now, and I think you're right, Mr. Robinson, you could
maybe get by. Yeah,
maybe get by, but it's very difficult to read it as well.
I agree.
It might
They don't
be
have a-
difficult because I tried it once when the stair wasn't cut, but I think I hit a little bit, but it might be my driving technical is not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand. I mean, and I guess maybe unfortunately that might be why it's not
Maybe.
feasible. So
Right.
I'll make a motion to defer to the full board.
I'm gonna second that motion.
Okay, Mr. Fortune,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
I too vote yes, motion carries. Are we going back to 887 Dorchester Ave?
So we can go to the 13th. That would be, we can do it next week. We can put it on the agenda for next week
Oh,
at
sorry.
10 Carson,
11:30.
yeah.
At 11:30.
Wait, so do I have to like join again for the public
Yes.
hearing?
Yes.
If you want it heard on the 13th, yes.
Okay. Sure. What time would it be?
It would be 11:30, but it's probably, we're gonna be probably after 11:30, but just make sure you're on at 11:30.
Wait, which day?
The
Next
13th.
Tuesday.
Next
13th.
Tuesday?
Yep,
Is at 11:30?
yep. If you can't do it, we can get you a date in February if you'd like.
Oh, that's too far.
Okay.
I can't do that. I can't do that. 11:30 a.m.
All right, 11:30 on next Tuesday, the 13th.
So, will someone send me the link again or?
Yes,
Okay. Sure.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, and Madam Chair, we're gonna go back to the case. Hold on 2 seconds here. I don't think they're on, but there are a couple of numbers up here.
Sure.
Going back to BOA 132-3055-887 Dorchester Avenue. Are they on, Madam Ambassador? Do we know?
No, I don't see them on.
Okay. So.
I'll
is the
make a motion for
Yeah, go
denial
ahead.
without prejudice.
I'll second, Eric.
All right, Mr. Fortune,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
I too vote yes, motion carries.
Yeah, Madam Chair.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
See
you
next
all.
Tuesday.
Have a good night. Yeah.
Good night.
Thank you. You too.
Okay. Jeez, scare me like that.